Besides the copy paste texting, dinner dates, going out for a drink, a coffee, whatever, was the same. Dude, I cannot begin to explain how boring and monotonous conversations can be and how, like, down in the dumps your expectations become of the women you're seeing. It says, why should men chase trash and be ashamed for not wanting to? And then Rolo, I think this is what Rolo's referencing in his stream the other day. Apparently there's something going on with, I told you guys 2023 was going to be the year. Call that. Didn't I tell you? It was? Okay, let's play this out then.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I have a fun topic I'd like to talk about today. It kind of concerns, but doesn't really concern Rich Cooper, who you see here as the bald gentleman, and Rollo Tomasi, who's got the headphones on. Both these guys are I don't know if you might call them partial dating.
So can somebody give me the rundown on Better Bachelor's channel? It says they call it a cope. Joker isn't interested in the router on chasing women. So is he basically going your own way completely? Hit the like button on the way in. Let me see this. I wanted to show you guys this. We'll play Better Bachelor.
Coaches, you might call them red pill content creators. I'm using these two as an example because they're two of the first guys I listened to when I came to YouTube and started looking up men's content. I have nothing negative to say about them other than the fact that I think they just do not understand men that don't feel that chasing after women is a priority. And I don't know why, but...
Confirmed not a CIA agent. Probably being looked at by them.
The minute a guy says, you know what, I really don't care about dating, I'm just going to do my own thing. Now, if I happen to bump into a nice woman or I have a conversation with one, some guys would like to date him. Other guys don't care at all. But for some reason, it seems that if a man's, I don't know if I'd say priority, because I don't think either of these guys put it as a priority. But if a man chasing a woman or making himself attractive or making himself high status or available or pickup lines or smooth or comfortable with women, for some reason, if that's not on a guy's radar, these guys think that men are coping, that like men are tapping out.
Says BB is a go your own way or do your own thing and is against dating roaches out there. Interesting. Okay.
They're giving up. Oh, poor me. And yeah, that's true for some guys, I suppose. And if you're a guy that says, yeah, that is kind of me, like I would like to date, go listen to Rich Cooper, go listen to Rollo Tomasi, go listen to some of these other coaches. I think they have good information to listen to. As a matter of fact, I think they have good information to listen to overall. Rollo's book, The Rational Male, I think is almost like the handbook to men in the world today. I think it's a great read. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But I came across this. And while I think of it, please, if you have a Twitter account or you'd just like to follow along with me and you don't now that Elon.
All right, so he wrote on Twitter, I'm guessing, someone had to say it. So he's responding to monk mode is a cope. So I call, how was it, guys? Sorry, I have my kind of cannibalization of the red pill, quote, manosphere, quote, self-improvement space, essentially, because everybody's looking to, it's like the same problem that news and media organizations are having where they're fighting for eyeballs, fighting for attention. So somebody has to say the craziest shit. Like, look, how can you possibly attack monk mode and call it a cope? And we're cannibalizing ourselves because now somebody has to one up the other and say outrageous shit. It's just guys going on self-improvement. It's just a guy that maybe is taking time off for himself instead of maybe going into the dating pool, failing or getting his heart broken, or maybe getting in a relationship that he's not ready for and can't provide everything to take care of a woman in the manner that he wants. But essentially, it's like we're getting a space full of grifters, people who have no experience in the field, whatever the fuck you want to call it, just out in reality, man. It's just a bunch of regurgitated shit today that we're seeing. Monk mode is a cope. Imagine that take from a community that's supposed to be about bettering men.
Elon Musk owns Twitter. It's a lot more free space, and we can talk about things, although there's still some bugs to be worked out, he's admitted to. I'm over there at Bachelor Joker. I've got about 3,000, almost 3,000 people following me over there. Apparently, you're not taken as a serious content creator and personality, I guess, unless you have tons and tons of followers on Twitter. I guess that's the new bar to be measured by, because I've emailed a couple of people asking if I could maybe either get an interview or talk to them, and I think they're looking at how many followers I have, and they're like, nah, you're nobody. So, you can't really relate how many people you have over here on YouTube to Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, please follow me at Bachelor Joker. So a guy named Paul, the best men's podcast ever, 100%, he made a post and he said, monk mode is a cope. It's just an excuse you tell yourself so you don't have to talk to women. And then Rollo Tomasi said someone had to say it. Now, I had replied to the original tweet by Paul.
It says, I don't get why content creators want to bash people who just want to be left alone. It's as if they want rage clicks. Well, yeah, there's some sort of homogeny going on in the message. It's becoming stale. Almost everybody's kind of repeating what the other's saying, and you have to get more and more ridiculous. Your takes have to be spicier and spicier. Short form content is now dominating everything. So if you don't say something in a bite-sized 15-second clip, then, traction on your channel drops. You don't get as much visibility. TikTok basically took over the world. YouTube's playing catch up. Yeah, so the message has been watered down for the masses tremendously just to get the sound bites out, unfortunately. I mean, we're living in a new era, guys. And it's gone mainstream, especially after Tate and everything that's going on. And they're painting a certain, like a caricature of what the average consumer of this kind of content.
I didn't follow up with Rollo's thing. I thought I'd do it in a video instead because, again, I've only got 3,000 people following me on Twitter, so it's kind of like yelling into the void. So I figured, hey, I'll come here and yell about it. I'll yell about it where I actually have more people following me. The problem with this mindset is it assumes that all men have the same priority and the same desires as these two guys do, which is women or dating or wanting to talk to women or getting laid or trying to get a girlfriend or whatever. How are you going to tell somebody that your dreams and your passions, if they're different than mine, are a cope? That'd be like me saying, you know what? All men should be able to work with their hands and chop wood.
And that's 100% true. I've been thinking about this the past few days because when I listen to other creators, it kind of is like a window into their soul and the way they think. Like the boys down in Miami, that's because they're engrossed in the Miami lifestyle with Miami kinds of women. So they have that kind of thought process. Plus, who knows how they are in their personal lives, the kind of test levels, man, how they were raised, maybe some of them are go-getters, super ambitious dudes. Maybe they do get a sense of like self-esteem boost from women, conquering women, whatever it is, man, material possessions, etc. So some guys will have that message go out. Other guys somewhere in other parts of the world may be dealing with something more traditional in general, right? They might be married or dating seriously and talking about that kind of lifestyle overseas. It just depends, man. But yeah, the kind of content you create, you can kind of peer into the creator and see kind of where their mind state is at. I know that's true for me. I try to stay as general and as, I guess, impartial, but it's impossible, dude. Because I've been in the club lifestyle. I've been in the whole monk mode lifestyle. I've, done extended breaks, self-improvement stuff. Went hard into chasing money, super materialistic. Went hard into like degenerate dating and hookup and I've been through kind of all the phases, so I understand at least a bit and a piece of each one. But yeah, some of the channels go ham on a certain lane of the manosphere, you could say, which is neither a good or a bad thing. I mean, it's like red pill comes in phases, man, in different shades. You're going to go through a bunch of them. Maybe in the very beginning, you have no experience with women. And what really gets you off is conquering and finally getting your first, second, third hookup, fourth hookup, whatever it is. It makes you feel high. You get that meat box rejuvenation, that brand new good. And then you feel really good about yourself. And that's your springboard in life. And you start to ascend into greater things. I mean, it works that way for some guys. Others, they want to retreat into themselves, focus on improving themselves first, rather avoid the dating / hookup culture, and then come out a brand new man that they deem worthy of then looking for a woman that's high quality, high status for something far more serious. I mean, everybody has a different shade of what they're looking for.
Would and live on a...
But it is sad to see. The only thing I really can't stand, I don't care about pickup artists, MRAs, password bros, MGTOWs, all this shit. I don't care what camp you're in. I can't stand the fakes. I can't stand the ones that are grifting hard, charging people money for stupid shit. I can't stand those people. I can't stand the ones that have never been out there, have no experience, don't understand shit. They just read a paper, read a book, read some shit online from other guys' experiences, and then they regurgitate it back to you guys. I can't stand that shit. I personally made all these mistakes. This is why I know what I know.
Farm and raise chickens and be completely off grid and know how to bow hunt. And if you don't, that's a cope. You're not a real man. How insulting would that be? That's kind of the same thing that these guys are saying here. I'm not going to dwell on what they said, but I am going to put this out there. And because this is very important for people to understand. If you're a man that has decided not to make a woman a priority in your life and chasing women and want to...
Donovan's a straight turd. That dude finessed his own father out of money. So he's responding to something Rollo and Cooper said. Who knows? Who in the chat knows what that is?
Women and wanting to sleep with women a priority in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. And as a matter of fact, I've got some screenshots here I'm going to share with you. And I think these guys maybe don't understand to see what we see. I think Rollo's actually been married for 20 years, so he's been out of the dating pool a long time. Maybe he knows what works today. Maybe he doesn't, and he only knows what works 20 years ago.
Yeah, I go back and forth on the red pill women, guys. I'll be real. Sometimes I'm like, whatever. If you're a man and you choose to listen to that side of the aisle speak about dating and stuff, that's your prerogative. You know, the whole don't take advice from a fish on fishing. That's good. You do you. But there are some grifters that are women that are just riding the coattails, because all you have to do is be a little traditional or just literally regurgitate what men are saying coming out of a woman's mouth, and there's going to be tremendous amounts of simps in the comment section. Save her. We need to preserve her. Yes, queen. Simping hard. If you're a woman right now, it's no better time than to start a YouTube channel, TikTok, short form, whatever, literally regurgitate red pill commentators in a woman's form, and you will absolutely explode across all the platforms. You can weaponize simps real easily.
I don't know. I don't listen to them. I don't have the luxury of having enough time to watch a bunch of other content creators. But what I do know is, even with me, things have changed in the last 5, 6, 7 years between how to date women, where to meet them, what you can say to them, their attitudes, and everything else. Things are changing rapidly in that marketplace. And I just can't believe that for some reason someone would shame men because they...
That's an interesting one there. He said, Andrew Tate, men's issues / male loneliness. Also, Andrew, profits off and insults those same men. I mean, you have to understand, men get motivated in a different manner. Like, you're used to being feminized and coddled and talked to and uplifted through conversation. Like, the reason he shits on men, says brokey, flashes cars, flashes money, lifestyles, because that shit is what motivated him. Certainly stuff like that motivated me when I was a kid. Seeing nice things was a motivational experience. That wasn't envious about anything. So the way, at least all the men I grew up around with, is when you see another man be successful and he's giving you a no bullshit, real, raw message about how to get there and what you need to do, it resonates. We don't sit there and coddle each other and talk and tell you, well, you're doing a great job. Just keep on trying and maybe do a little bit tomorrow. And good job, Timmy. You failed. That's okay. Go have a little ice cream. No, like, we don't talk to each other that way. Get the fuck up. Get after it. Stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses. You're going to die alone. Nobody's going to care about you. You're not going to leave behind a leg, right? Like, men need that kind of talking to get to where they need to get. So on one end, he is motivating people. On the other end, it's going to rub off all the little feminine men wrong because he calls people brokies and take care of your business, do this and that. This is what you need to escape, right? It rubs off soft boys the wrong way. Says the cam girl business actively contributes to these issues, Bo. Again, who opens up the computer and clicks on the website and goes on there and speaks to women and then gives money? Like, I'm all about agency and accountability as well, brother, but come on.
They say, you know what, I don't want to chase women. And let's be honest with it. I've got some fun screens here that I'm going to show. Let me see if I can size this correctly here. Just a second. I don't know why it's not showing the whole thing. I think this is from 4chan, maybe 8chan. I'm not sure about all the chans. I don't spend any time over there. But what this is it's a screenshot where the trolls will say, hey, let's start a trend. And they said, we want to start a trend. Go bald for Bravo Lima Mike. They said, let's get this trending on Twitter and Instagram. The idea is to get women, particularly white women, to shave their heads for Bravo Lima Mike, guilt them into getting rid of their straight white hair to show solidarity with black women. And it worked. This girl named Maddie, I showed my solidarity by shaving my head. And here's the thing. If you notice, this is from June 5th. This was posted right here, June 4th. Now, maybe someone shopped this. I don't know. But nonetheless, there's still women out there shaving their heads to show solidarity. And this has nothing to do with Bravo Lima Mike at all.
What the hell?
Even if she didn't shave her head, social validation, neediness, attention, Social media. They care more about their likes and their validation on social media than they do about meeting a good guy. And if things go slightly wrong, do you think she'll not put you on blast? Do you think she'll not spread your information all about across the internet? You know, you never hear this from the coaches and everybody else, or just go spin plates. Have 7 women you're talking to at the same. Well, if you can get 7 women, furthermore, if you can get 7 women you actually want to talk to that are worth dealing with, and even if you do that.
By the way, that takes so much time to get multiple women like that. 7, dude, 3, 4, 5 already starts to become a headache, and it's basically like a full-time job of texting constantly nonstop, having to give them enough attention. Quote, the spinning of the plate, right? You have to keep it spinning fast enough to stay on before it falls and it breaks, right? Using the terminology, obviously. But when I was in college, dude, that was my life. I was essentially filling the black hole through hookup culture. And after school would just be straight up Taco Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nonstop partying, nonstop wasting time, nonstop hooking up, just to feel an ounce of like worth, self-esteem, you know, to look cool in front of my guy friends. It's like that thing that Patrice says, you catch a fish and you want to show your fish to all your friends that you can catch really good fish, right? It's just notches on a belt, dude. But it takes so much time. I don't think any man worth his salt even would spend, because you understand when you're a man that's successful, you understand the value of your time. In essence, is what makes you successful also. So wasting it on a ton of women that have no potential for anything serious is you not respecting yourself. I think most of the men that chase women as like, I guess you call it hobby. Yeah, coping. It's a cope. I would call it a cope. I think those guys have deeper issues that they're working on. I certainly did. I think anybody that tells you otherwise, like people that live the Playboy lifestyle are filling a hole for something. Because you could use sex as the equivalent of like a drug hit. You know, the process of meeting somebody new, talking to them, convincing them to have sex with you, because obviously that's like a power play. You've got them to find you attractive, of course. You're charismatic. You convinced a whole nother person. It could get so degenerate, dude. I remember I had like a 5-minute record from meeting somebody fresh, never knowing them, to like hooking up. Obviously, everything was correct in the whole 3 rules of right guy, right time, right place. All the Playboy lifestyle guys on some level are actually filling a hole, because once you do get that successful, I'm telling you, women are it's like a shallow hit of dopamine, dude. You have to find meaning in something much deeper. I've heard of sex addicts who stop caring once the woman accepts going back to his place and he just leaves. Like once he gets the validation, he quits. If I look back to my own escapades, the act was definitely the highlight, and then the crash comes right after, because after you're done hooking up, it's just like you've conquered something again, you've succeeded again. The emptiness comes back faster and faster the more successful you become, unless you deal with the problem underlying this behavior. And dude, I didn't learn any of this stuff until I really took like a serious amount of time off to like reevaluate what I wanted to have in my life and what I valued, and who I was, and why I was behaving this way. Like you have to have some introspection and self-awareness. Let's continue with this part.
Do you think if you wrong 1 or 2 of those 7 women in the wrong way, they won't say, maybe make a phone call to the popo and said that you did something wrong? Do you think they'll not go try to contact your business to cancel you today?
How many years did you take off? Let's see. I didn't take a full year off. I want to say like a little over 6 months. I just took a break. There's one quote that kept popping up in my mind. It was essentially, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And I was just looking at the quote roster I had, the roster of women I've had. I mean, like the peak of my degeneracy was essentially one new girl every day for a week. I had quote the perfect week. And I always had like my head up high, because I was like, oh my God, it wasn't just, because here's how it goes, man. You meet a ton of chicks, whether it's through dating apps or the club. And then you have these chicks like on a back burner. Some of them are a lot warmer than others. You strike while the iron's hot. It takes a little longer to warm others up. Okay, so you have this rotation of girls that you're about to hook up with, gonna hook up with later, and like the slow burners that are probably gonna be way into the future because either they claim they have a boyfriend or whatever the hell their situation is, right? So for me, I managed a perfect week of fresh people I met that day or that week. Say on a Monday, hooked up on a Tuesday, whatever, Thursday, whatever. But it wasn't people I was warming up. Literally met them, most of them, that day. So that was the height of like my degeneracy, and that's what I thought gave me value and brownie points to my guy friends at the time, because nobody really had shit going for them. except trying to hook up with women. And now on the other side of the aisle, I'm seeing and I'm hanging out with successful men, and women are like last about what we're chasing. It's women are literally like what rubs off your success. At the very end, the guys are not even discussing when they're talking about like preparing for business deals, fights, giant goals, things they're trying to accomplish that is bigger than them, etc. And like women happen to pop into the equation at random, but it's not like a priority. Oh, so Stevie, that's a good one. You end up having the same conversations, and it's like Groundhog Day. Actually, yes, I had an entire like shtick on all the hookup apps. It was basically copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And it was 2 or 3 lines into copy pasting, essentially with the last line ending cool, what's your number? Let's hang out, or something like that. So I kept texting to straight logistics only. And it was like copy, paste, opener, copy, paste that I already had ready for her response. And then copy, paste, closer. Dude, it was like 3 text. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I would just like, I was like a squirrel collecting nuts, dude. I had hundreds of phone numbers, like too many. I would just name them in my phone, like 1, 2, 3, or take a screenshot, put it as their picture just to somehow remember who they were. Is that mystery method of game? Not sure what it is. And that's essentially what my entire day was. And I had that copy paste going and would get nothing but dates on multiple dates, dude, because girls flake all the time. So it would be like 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates set up on the same exact day. A couple of them would flake. The others wouldn't. You would have to cancel on them because you just picked the hottest girl that said yes at the time. And that's it, dude. You just rinse and repeat for the rest of your life until you finally break out of the mold and you're like, oh shit, there's more to life than this. Like, this is kind of low value behavior. And then you step into a different circle where you see high value men and the way they behave and talk and think, and it's completely different. Women don't dominate the conversation. Women is something you have in abundance, and it's something you don't even care about. It's like, yeah, women, who doesn't have those? They're everywhere. Yes, we're all successful. Yeah, that's not a problem. Oh, this is the one you're bringing out this week? Kind of like that.
There's a lot of women out there that are very poisonous. And here's the thing. If you want to meet them, you still can meet them. If you want to learn how to dress nicely and speak to them and have a good personality, maybe hit the gym and clean up a little bit, I've talked about this plenty of times on my channel. It's available to you. It's getting tougher and tougher to get into that top percentage of men that has opportunities with women because they've gone off the rails, but it's possible. If you want that, go listen to these guys. Go listen to other coaches out there.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's what it was. I got lost. I got off track for a second. So the Groundhog Day conversations, yeah. Besides the copy-paste texting, dinner dates, going out for a drink, a coffee, whatever, was the same shit, dude. I cannot begin to explain how boring and monotonous conversations can be and how, like, down in the dumps your expectations become of the women you're seeing when literally, imagine going on 3-4 dates. Dude, I don't know how these women do it, because you go on like 3-4 dates every day, whatever, hang out with women 3-4 times, the same shit over and over and over. It's like bots, NPC conversations. You then run across somebody that's like above average intelligence or with some self-awareness, and they can actually hold a conversation and talk about something interesting. Most of the time, it's the same boring shit.
Again, if a man says, you know what, it's just not in my wheelhouse, like I just don't care. Well, you're coping now, according to some of these coaches and red pill guys. I think that's wrong. And again, I have nothing against any of them. I think if you want to date, go for it. Go listen to them. They have good content. They're good content creators. They have a lot of good qualities, and a lot of the things they talk about are very true. But for some reason, they just assume if a man doesn't want to date, he's broken or he's given up. Maybe guys just have better things to do with their time than go to the gym and dress up and, have a fancy car, drive or buy a nice watch, wear a cool suit, try to peacock and look different and come up with all these interesting talking points and lines. And I gotta, don't lean in and exclude. That's a hell of a lot of work to get a mid-level girl nowadays. It just is. And these guys do not understand it. They're putting their values on other men. I got a couple of dating profiles I'm going to use just as an example. Now, here's the thing. You can say, yeah, but Joker, you're never going to meet a good woman on dating apps. I agree. Okay, now you got to meet them in the real world. You got to do what's called cold approaching. You got to walk up to them. So they're looking at a book in a bookstore, and you want to go up and say something funny and slick and get their attention. How's that going to work out for you? Now, maybe if you're, 6'2" and you look like Henry Cavill, you're going to do just fine. But if you're 5'6" and are Joker, who doesn't even take the time to clean up his neckline because I'm too lazy to, you're not going to have any luck at all. It takes effort. And some men just say the effort's not worth it. But again, to these guys, it's a tap out. And I don't know why, because being men's coaches and life coaches and betterment coaches, I would think they'd be the first to tell you, guys, don't chase the women, man. If you really want to get ahead in life, chase opportunity, chase money, chase your physical fitness in the gym, chase getting a good group of friends, chase having
Spartan challenge. Get after it.
a good life. And when that good life is all together and it's strong and you're in a great place, that will exude from you. People will tell that you're a comfortable, confident, strong man. And maybe you need practice with that. Maybe you need a little bit of help with that. But they tell you to fake it till you make it. Well, look, if you're living in a roach-infested apartment, ride a bicycle to work, and look like me, you can only fake it so much. But instead, because then if you do get the girl's number and you do take her out to a date and then you take her back to her place, she's going to be like, damn, man, you got to get your crap together. And she's going to bounce before you even get to slide in the sheets with her. But in the opposite way, if you say, hey, I'm going to focus on myself, no matter what age you are, whether it's 19 or whether it's 50, and you say, I'm going to get my stuff together, man, that's how you're going to draw women, because then you don't even really have to try quite as hard. You have a good group of male friends, you have a good career, you've got a good income, things are going well.
Things I've been telling you guys, if you're in your 20s, work hard. If you're in your 30s, then you get to play. Work hard in your 20s, play in your 30s. I keep telling you guys, dude, you're doing this shit in reverse is like playing with a handicap. You're going into the game when you're least valuable and you're trying to play up against the other player that's at their highest value because you want the 20-year-old, the 21, 22-year-old, and she's peaking. And you, the 20 or the equivalent age guy, or maybe just a few years older than her, you think you're going to compete with the older men? And I'm talking 30 plus that obviously see the same beauty in her that you do, but they have a career in front of them, a business in front of them, and can facilitate a dream, can take her out, can show her 5-star restaurant, can do all this stuff. Like it's a losing effort in the beginning unless you have like a ridiculous body, face, right? You're a physical specimen, quote Chad. That's where you get to skip some of the game and you go straight to winning. But my football coach in high school told us to focus on winning the ring, not chasing the P. Well, we won state, but I still regret not banging more times.
Well, for you, then you got a pretty good chance. But here's the trick of it all. You still have to be mindful about it. You still have to say, how am I going to show that I have money, or how am I going to show that I have value, or how do I pick up on women, or how do I get comfortable?
If you are a young dude that's trying to get into the game, don't have much financial value to bring to the table, you have to have an interesting life. You can bypass it if you do something really cool and you're really good at it. And then you can bring along a woman and show her, and essentially you become the alpha in that whatever perspective in her eyeballs. Like nothing off the top of my head, but let's just say skateboarding. Obviously don't use skateboarding because it's not going to work, but just say, dude, you're so fucking good. You're actually competing, maybe semi-pro, maybe whatever, just an example. And then you invite her over to one of your events, or you're filming something for your channel that's pretty successful. You're on your way to being successful. You might have a sponsor here and there because obviously you love what you do. You took the time to get good, something like that. You don't have to have money necessarily in the moment, but you do have to show potential.
Comfortable talking to women. It still takes effort. And if that's what you want, then go listen to those guys too. Listen to their information. But if you say to yourself, something, my other priorities are otherwise, and you go about your life, I almost guarantee that if you have a lot of friends and you go out and you have social interactions with other people and you're a quality guy, you're probably going to find an opportunity to probably meet a decent woman, at least better than the girls here on the dating apps. But this is my example. Now I remove names and information that would be telling because I'm doing this on YouTube. Over on Locals, I don't normally have to do this. Or I'm doing it on Locals and YouTube, but I'm putting it on YouTube. And also join me on Locals because a lot of the content I can't put over here anymore. Look at this girl. First of all, she's in a bra in the top photo. And then she says, what if I told you I've been celibate for almost 3 years and plan on staying that way until I'm married? You can say, okay, well, the bra shot's not a great idea, but hey, good for her, man. At least she's got some traditional values, and maybe that's someone I want to be. Let's look at page 2. Oh, wait a minute. big arm ink tattoo.
Stop the cap.
The thing you should know about me is I'm a mother first. I have 5
Hell
kids. So you must be great with kids and actually want kids. Yeah, but they're not my kids. Why would I want someone else's kids? And now you're celibate, and now you don't want to sleep until you're married, but you've already got 5 kids and you're giving out the pink taco to everybody else? And we men are supposed to be shamed when we go, I don't really care about being in the dating market if this is the majority.
Okay, the shaming thing. I'm glad he brought that up. Born again virgin, basically. Okay, so check this out. So this is just a quick Google search. And the first one is women going overseas for love. Okay, it's not surprising. Ever thought about destination dating? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. 4 women talk looking for love abroad. So women looking for love abroad, the double standards here. It's called destination dating. Great. When Americans do it, men, and this one is targeting black men in specifically, it says, Black America debates the rise of passport bros. And then it goes straight to saying, American men going to foreign countries for love, low-cost sex, written by a woman. So it's low-cost sex when men do it, and it's destination dating when women do it. You see what I mean? Very interesting, huh? Romance scam steals hearts and money from victims. FBI media alert. Valentine's Day. Look at the... where's the rest? I have to go to all because Google sucks at search now. Why a lot of American men marry overseas women. Try to find some other ones. I met my bae abroad. 3 women share stories of finding love. Interesting. Oh, holla at your boy. There we are. Oh, here we go. Will moving abroad help me find love? Unfortunately, I've never had a serious relationship. I'm a 34-year-old woman and I start being seriously annoyed by my situation. Continue.
Of what's available now, or even a good number of, you guys have heard me do the online dating statistics. The number of men that actually end up connecting with and going out with women, 1.5% of men. Are you going to, how much energy are you going to put into? How much of your life's energy are you going to put into to become that top 5% so you can meet this? And if you say, you know what, I've done a risk analysis, I do have to correct him here. Putting all that work to become top 5%, you certainly will not be pulling that. That's, no, sorry. If you're a top 5 percentile man, trust me, your options are going to be far above this. I know this is becoming increasingly more common, but you certainly would not be wasting time on it. This is the scraps. This is essentially a slow Tuesday for somebody in the top 25 percentile of men. I've done the math on this stuff, and I've just determined it's not worth it. Well, you're coping. You're tapping out. You're weak. Your butt hurt. You're scared. I disagree. I think it's a man making an intelligent decision saying the effort is not worth the reward.
Someone said 10s are a headache. I disagree. I think 10s are actually easier to deal with than 6s and 7s. I think 10s have had a very positive view on what a man is because of how attractive a 10 is. I think most men approach them intimidated or never approach them at all. In contrast to a 6 or a 7, she knows she's not the best looking. Men actually don't bend over backwards to do things for them. And the men that are in their DMs are actually very straightforward about getting sex from her or whatever it is, pushing the envelope. So a 6 and a 7 will think they're a 10, but behave like they're the goddesses that have touched down Earth and have blessed us with their presence. It's wild. Like a 6 and a 7 is far bigger headache because they're just trying to fill that like never-ending black hole of I'm never good enough. I know I can never be as beautiful as her, but also look at all the guys in my DMs. Clearly I'm worth something. I deserve the best. So they're always reaching higher than their value. But a 10 basically only has the best experiences with men, and it likewise reflects in their attitude and behavior around them. Yeah, I avoid 6 and 7s, dude.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Here's another one I have, just as an example.
Jesus.
She says, I'm looking for my person, my other half. I want that connection. I miss cuddling. It's been so long. Kissing it all. I just want to be happy and make my person happy. Putting on that nice looking watch and being comfortable and smooth and all the slick pickup lines to go get yourself a mother of 7 that's 39, guys. But if you don't want that, you're coping. You're wimps. You're scared. See, they don't understand. And again, I think there's a lot of great women out there that are not the women that you're finding on these dating apps. They are out there. But who's to say whether they're married? Who's to say whether they even want to talk to you? You know, it used to be back in the day that if you went up and said, hey, how you doing? And the woman wasn't interested, she'd say, oh, no, I have a boyfriend. I was just saying hi, but now you're going to get the I have a boyfriend. And they'll say, oh, you came across as too try hard. You didn't present yourself as alpha enough. Dude, I was just saying hi. So now go pay for those coaching lessons. You know, come on, guys, keep putting in effort. No matter how crazy these women get, no matter how entitled, no matter how awful a person many of them turn out to be, you got to keep trying. And if you don't.
Okay, alternative perspective here. What if you do put in that work? You do become the top 5% man, but you're angling for a life abroad. Is it still worth it then? Because I get the guys that, quote, go their own way. Okay, I understand that concept, especially when it comes from older gentlemen that have been married once or twice, that have went through divorce court, that have had to fight for custody of their kids. Totally understandable, dude, that you're burnt out on everything from dealing with that process. But for the younger guys that don't have much experience or very little or none, actually, and you're leaning towards going your own way now, because Joker seems to be more on the, I won't even say pessimistic side, but he's just dealing with a different perspective where the effort, you know, the juice is not worth the squeeze, personally. Okay, well, if you're a young guy and you have time ahead of you and you work really hard, you don't have to become top 5%, but the best version of yourself, etc., whatever, and then you go abroad and you become exotic in people's eyes and you've done enough so you can live comfortably remotely, why wouldn't you? If you were stuck in this country and had no way out, I understand. Maybe you're not the best looking. Maybe you weren't raised in the best environment. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of trauma as a kid. Took you a while to figure out what was going on, what's holding you back mentally, etc., right? Okay. All great, dude. I understand that you may be arriving late to the party, but we have an alternative called a passport. Like, you don't actually have to live here. I don't understand why a guy would truly check out of the game completely when you have options to leave. I think a man should choose to check out completely once he's traveled the world and then he's seen enough cultures to go, you know what, this really isn't for me. But as far as checking out completely, the only thing you can add is an asterisk to that to say from American culture. That's it.
You're weak, you're scared, you're coping. Or it could just be that men have decided, you know what, it's just not worth it. Here's the last one I have. She's, I forgot to take her name off it. She's Kayla, she's 39 years old. She, her, pronouns, you're out. Professional.
Let's get to this part.
Just remember. Now again, let me be very clear about this. I have no hate. I have no hate at all for any dating coaches, for any men's red pill content creators. I have no hate for them at all. I have no hate for them at all. I think they do good work, and I think if you want to date and you want to understand women and you want to maybe learn how to improve yourself so you can date them, that's these guys' specialties. They also tell you, you know, how to be successful, how to be masculine, how to be a good man. I'm fine with these guys. I have nothing negative to say about them, with the exception that they just don't take the time to understand other men that have other priorities other than themselves. And when they call other guys weak or cope or afraid or whatever, they're doing a disservice to themselves, because it shows that they don't understand that a lot of different guys have many different dreams and many different things that are important to them. And the best way to really help men is to be able to help all men, not just the ones that want to date, not the ones that want to hook up, but helping all men. And what can you tell all men that would help them? Be comfortable talking to strangers, men and women alike. Be funny. Learn how to develop a sense of humor. Go to the gym and be healthy. Have at least several outfits that you can dress up in and look good and professional. Manicure your nails if that's important to you. You know.
What the hell? Yeah, and I've said it plenty of times on this channel. Align your mind, body, and spirit. So read books, educate yourself, challenge your brain. But don't forget about your body. Work out, do something physical, find hobbies that push you physically. And then spiritually, man, start becoming more introspective, looking back on your life, looking forward into the future, try to peer into what your place in this world is. Find your path or your purpose by means of action. You can't discover some of this stuff until after the journey has begun. See, people make this problem all the time where they want the path in front of them illuminated. They want to see every single obstacle ahead. They want to know everything that can and will happen for them before they take the first step and decide this is the journey I want to be on. It doesn't work that way. Stop being a bitch. This is the brutal truth. of how you get ahead in life, how you find your purpose and your path. And I'm going to do a video on this to get more in depth with you guys, but it's like lean in a direction and just go. Stop trying to see the path in front of you. Stop wanting to have everything paved and illuminated. The lights fucking working. No machete needed. No jungle to chop through. Nothing. No hardship. This is why a lot of men today are essentially stuck in their position. Trapped. Is because they're afraid to take a first step into the unknown. It's the fear. They're complacent with security. Nobody knows, dude, what doors could open, what possibilities are out there until you start to go through with your machete, just fucking hacking at shit. And then all of a sudden, you don't know if you're going left or right. You're just going forward. And it opens up into some beautiful oasis with like fruiting trees everywhere. And now your life has completely changed because you decided to take that path that no one took before in your family, maybe in your friend circle, wherever, and you've gotten to a destination that nobody would have thought was possible simply because you put in the work. So lean into a path and just go. Stop trying to have all the answers ahead of time. Stop trying to have everything figured out down to the T, be a perfectionist. Fucking figure it out as you go and you'll make it, bruh. I'm telling you. Jacob, thanks again for the 50, dude. You're wild. Let me put this up on the screen so I can actually read it. I am divorced and my ex took me for 42 grand, all the money I had in my early 20s. Going forward, I've been careful about choosing the right partner. Vet, man. That's the most important thing is vetting.
Keep your beard trimmed. Keep yourself clean. Make sure that you're not smelling offensive. And that right there, it will nowadays, and at least, and maybe not be overweight. That right there alone will put you in the top 20, 30% of men. That's a kickoff point. That should be universal.
It says, good job covering Better Bachelor. You both deliver the same message. Get in shape and become the best man you can be. Success and women will follow. Always.
So for all men, if those men care. Me personally, I don't care. I mean, I don't want to smell and offend anybody. But my whole point is, I'm beyond those days. That's not where my headspace is in life. But I think these guys miss that. And I think that's an opportunity that maybe they can improve their message to hit more men, to be able to help more men. Stop assuming everyone has the same life goals as you do. I think that's a mistake, and I think they get it wrong, and they end up basically insulting a lot of guys that are going their own way or doing their own thing or haven't put women first. And I think that's a mistake.